Howdy YouTubers, this is the Roaming Prepper, and today I'm going to do a firearm review of one of my personal favorites. It's a particular firearm that I've used in a variety of scenarios, very cost effective, powerful, and multi-purpose, and surprisingly legal almost everywhere in the United States, literally everywhere. I believe even New York City and LA, if you get the correct paperwork. Over-Under. Now I'm going to keep it pretty simple today. A lot of you probably were expecting an AR-15, a bolt-action rifle. I'm actually a big fan of the Over-Under, and there are a lot of reasons why. After 2020, we have 7 or 8 million new firearms owners. I expect we're going to have more. A lot of people can see the instability, they know what they're up against, and they're concerned. The Over-Under, this one is a 12 gauge. It's actually a Yildiz. I have two of these. One of them is over 11 years old. I can say with certainty I've put at least 1,500 shells through it, maybe 2,000 or more. At one point I was doing 5 or 6 competitions, both skeet and sporting clays, a year. The reliability in general of the Over-Under, and in particular of the Yildiz, is really phenomenal. I had one issue, which was a small plate inside the mechanism that cracked. I brought it to Briley down in Houston, and within 2 weeks I had the part repaired, and no problem since. So again, one minor repair in 12 years of the older one. This is the newer one I recently bought. So for those unfamiliar, an Over-Under is exactly what it looks like. It's a double-barrel shotgun, typically 12 gauge, but they do have a 20 and a 410 variations. I think they use even a 28 I've seen. Rather simple mechanism. You have a safety, buttstock, barrels, foregrip, and of course a trigger. To put it on safe, there's a safety mechanism here. S, green for safe, red for fire. Very simple. And that's it to open it. That's it. You put 2 shells in here, you close it, you set it on fire, aim at your target, click, click. I know I shouldn't do that, guys, but I was demonstrating, so a little dry fire never killed anything as long as you're not silly about it. When you open it again, I'm kind of opening it at an angle so you can see it. These 2 arms will eject the shells. Now my older shotgun has been used to a point I can flick it open one-handed. Pretty much I just actuate it and I let it go and it pops open and the shells go over my shoulder. This one's a newer one, so they're not quite as worn in and loose yet. But this Over-Under can be used for a variety of purposes. You can use pretty much any 12 gauge shell in the Over-Under. More importantly, you can change the chokes. Now the choke, you need a little tool, and there's a little insert that goes into each barrel. With the tool, you can remove the insert and change the aperture of the shot. So what I mean is, think of a garden hose, right? You squeeze the trigger, you get a tighter pattern on the water. You release the trigger, you get a wider pattern. Same thing with a shotgun, generically speaking. So you can arrange the choke, if you will, which is what it's called, the choke barrel, or chokes in the barrel. You can put tighter chokes or wider chokes. So you could put buckshot in here and use this for deer hunting or taking down hogs. You could put a wider aperture for birds, and you can put the widest, which is skeet, for competitive shooting, such as skeet and sporting clays. Each of the chokes is about, is about a 2-inch tube. They're not, like I said, the new shotgun, they're not very big. So you could bring the tool plus the extra chokes in your pocket or in a pouch and change them in the field. Teardown is very simple. This is pretty typical of over-unders. There's a little lever here, you pop it out, and the foregrip comes out. After which, we'll step back here for a second. And that's it. 3 pieces. Now, you could get into the internals in here. I would not do that unless you are very competent as a gunsmith and you have the correct tools and a proper place to work, because I promise you parts will go flying. If you choose, you can take and I recommend it on occasion or regularly, remove the chokes, clean and grease, clean the barrels, and then reinsert the chokes, and that's it. I love teaching new shooters with an over-under. It's easy for them to understand. They have both hands on the weapon, so there's no inadvertent dropping because it's a two-handed firearm. More importantly, the long barrel allows me as an instructor to view the individual and make sure the barrel's pointing in the right direction, and if necessary, I have a lot of firearm to reach out and grab and take control of a barrel. Especially when you're dealing with younger kids, they get a little excited or they get distracted and they suddenly spin around and point the barrel the wrong way, and you don't want that. But essentially, you grease these little arms and the sides here, you clean in here, and you can run a bore snake or a brush through the middle. I don't know how good a view you're getting there, but you can see this shotgun actually, even though it's the newer one, has about 300 rounds through it already. I gotta say the Yildiz, I bought the first one years ago. They'll range 400 to 600 for the field or competitive versions. There's some that go into the 2000 range. But most manufacturers have their own variation. Reassembly is equally simple. That's it. And you're ready to go about. Give myself a pinch there, so pay attention to that. It does bite. The over-under is cost effective. There are shorter barreled versions and longer barreled for hunting or self-defense. It's intimidating, so I promise you if someone breaks into your apartment, you turn the corner with one of these, they're not going to stick around for any reason. They're going to flee. It's suitable for hunting. You can change the ammunition depending on the game you're hunting, so you don't obliterate a squirrel with buckshot. You can use birdshot or something smaller. You'll still have a bunch of pellets in the squirrel, but you can still recover the squirrel. If you hit a squirrel with buckshot, it'll become bloody fluff, and that serves no purpose. So again, if you're a new shooter, or if you're training a new shooter, or if you're just looking for a general purpose firearm that can be adapted to almost anything and is simple to use, simple to clean, and easy to handle, this is a great option. And again, 20 gauge, 410, you can get different caliber sizes within the shotgun family, so you can address smaller statured or larger statured shooters, or competency. As people get better, they can take on larger gauges. In any case, that's a firearm review for the Yildiz 12 gauge over-under, and quite honestly, it's probably one of my go-tos out in the field. That's all for today. For those of you who are traveling or out hunting, Godspeed, and to everyone else, be safe and be ready. Until next time, take care.